you guys are in a situation, and the people going to college right now are of a generation where college prices have increased. College costs have shot way up. And, we can recognize that and complain about it. But the fact of the matter is, if you are pursuing college, this is something that you'll have to deal with. And it's something that will be a challenge to you either way, but it will be even more of a challenge if you decide to do college debt free. And if you decide to do college debt free, which I think you should, I don't think any less of you if you don't. But if you decide to do the harder thing at the beginning and do college debt free, which I think is worth it, I think that you're going to have to, most people will find that they will have to work to pay for it before and during college. And then hopefully you get a job after college as well. But you're going to have to work in most cases. That's how it's going to be possible to do college debt free. Having a job is the best cost reducer / cost eliminator. Now, some people may not be in that position where they have to work during college and before college to pay for college. Okay. So some people may not be in those circumstances. They may have enough grants, scholarships, savings, or their parental contribution, chosen their college very carefully and strategically as far as choosing to go to cheaper options, inexpensive schools, and maybe doing 2 years of community college and 2 years at a university. And they have it planned out so that they don't have to take out loans to go to college. And they don't have to necessarily work while they're at college. That's great. I wish that was the case for a lot of people. That may be the case, by the way, if you do college debt free and learn these principles and apply them in your life, you may put your future children, should you have them, in a position to be able to do that. But most people aren't in a position to do that. Okay, so most people, the reality is, most people are going to have to work while they're in college to pay for their education. Used to be that years back that you could work a summer job and pay for Harvard's tuition. That's no longer true. Now, a lot of times there's articles, and I have posted some of them, that talk about their focus is on the minimum wage, that it hasn't increased, this much and hasn't kept pace with increasing expenses and all that. That is true to an extent, but it has built in a very important assumption. And that built-in assumption is that most people are paid the minimum wage. That assumption is actually not true. Only 1.9% of people make the federal at or below the federal minimum wage, which means most people make more than that. Okay. So the two kind of questions that people have, understandably, when talking about the possibility or even the need for work during college is, number one, is it possible? And number two, is it enough? Number one is it possible for somebody to work and also get their academic stuff done, which is the point of being a student, is to move toward getting a degree, having a GPA and all that type of stuff that is sufficient not only to graduate, but to do well in college. And working, the fear is, or the concern is that it may inhibit that. You know, having to work while also having to do school, while also having other responsibilities and spending time with friends and family and all these other areas of life, adding in a job adds a level of difficulty that would not otherwise be there. It adds a time commitment that would not otherwise be there. And so a lot of people are saying, well, yeah, I know it's possible. I know it's in the movies and some, you know, somebody works a job really hard and they do all this stuff and they somehow get by. But I mean, is it more realistic, I guess, is the question to ask, than possible? Is it really realistic to have a job while in college? You know, when you're trying to focus on passing, being a good student, getting your classes done, getting your credits, and graduating in 4 years. I mean, is it really a good idea for students to have a job at the same time? And again, individuals may make different decisions on what's best for them, but that's one of the questions and concerns we'll have to deal with. And then number two, is that sufficient? Is that going to be enough to pay for college? And again, there's all kinds of factors, right? But really the question is, if someone is working and using that money to pay for college, is working a job going to be enough? And that's what individuals will have to decide. It may be one job, maybe multiple jobs, right? Depends on what the